I graduated school in '07, and I went to go volunteer for the Obama campaign. This was pretty early in the days of the Obama campaign, and I volunteered there over the summer. Nothing super terrific materialized, and so I had this offer at BCG, which was a consulting firm in Chicago, and so I took it, and I was there for about a year and a half, a little over a year, when I got a call from the COO of the Obama campaign to see if I wanted to come and be the assistant COO to help with the wind down of the campaign. And so I talked to BCG. They said, yes, you can take a leave of absence. I did that. In my prior consulting project, I had been working with the Chicago Olympic bid. So I had this really remarkable kind of 8 months, which was incredible. And then I got back to BCG, and I went back on a typical consulting case. And at that point, I said to myself, I'm just not as interested in this stuff as I am in kind of the public service world. One of BCG's clients was the Chicago Public Schools. BCG was doing some work for them, and I wasn't on this team, on how you reduce violence among CPS students. Over 500 students had been shot over the prior 2 years, and the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools, Ron Huberman, is a former police officer, and he wanted to do something about this. So BCG developed a strategy for it, and I had mentioned to BCG that I was interested in public sector work. They said, hey, why don't we go and introduce you over to the folks at CPS. We've done some work there, and now I am co-directing the initiative based on the strategy work that BCG did. And so what are we doing? We are trying to reduce violence among CPS students and also turn around the culture in some challenging schools that have challenging populations. So 3 things that we're doing are, 1, providing mentors to the students that are most at risk. We built this big regression model based on kind of the 500 students that were shot. We looked at their attendance, their race, their gender, their misconducts, et cetera, and said, you know what, these next 10,000 students look a lot like these folks. And so we did a regression model and said, these are the folks that we think are most in the line of fire. And we now have mentors for about 1,000 students. We've been ramping it up for a year, but a year ago we had none. So that's really terrific. And we've started to see some good results from that. Still a little early. The second thing is trying to create what we're calling a culture of calm in the district. So how do you create safe, stable, supportive, and engaging environments where these students can excel academically? Really, how do you create the preconditions for learning? And that's what I focus most of my time on. And it's really, how do you build capacity in the school? It's kind of like an organizing campaign. How do you create staff development, student development, organizational capacities, just so you know at any given moment who's there that day and who isn't. So you can immediately do robocalls to their parents, or you can go knock on doors. Attendance is a big issue. The third thing we're doing is kind of the community piece, which is safe passage. 40% of students feel unsafe going to and from school, and those students have worse attendance, their grades are worse, they don't participate in extracurriculars as much. We worked with CPD, the Chicago Police Department, Chicago Transit Authority, community workers, the principals, to say where are kind of the hot spots outside of school where these incidents are flaring up, and what can we do about it? What we've done is now at 26 schools, we have community watch workers who are there before school and after school to try to create kind of a safe environment for students to come to and from school. They're also there so they can report incidents as they see them. They could intervene if something is happening. And so far so good. This is the first school year we've had the community watch workers. We piloted our Culture of Calm program at 6 high schools. The results are very encouraging. Attendance has gone up, misconducts have gone down, D's and F's have gone down. The students shot at those schools, the students shot who come from those schools, no shootings happen in the schools. That's gone down, so we're really encouraged about that kind of stuff. Out of school suspensions have gone down. These are all metrics that we're kind of looking at to try to make sure that things are going in the right direction. And now we're rolling that out to another 38 high schools, and our next step is to go earlier because we got to get to the root of the problem when these students are much younger. So that's what we're doing. So just the challenges of working in a big bureaucracy are one. It's not as nimble as a startup company. Second is actually measuring exactly what it is that works. while the trends are looking good, I can't say for certain, yes, it's because of this one thing that the student was doing. And I really want to get to that. Haven't quite cracked that nut yet, but hopefully soon. Third is actually just gathering the data. That can be a big challenge. And fourth is, it's a huge organization and there are lots of constituencies, all who have their own interests in mind, and everybody wants to help the students, and we all, I think, can start there. So, but there's a lot of politics involved, and you have to navigate those waters and also just keep your eye on the prize, which is we need to go execute this program and try to do it in the best way that we can so we can help our schools and help our students.